Lee Jaggi is a Medicare specialist from Health New England. And Lee, it's great to have you, man.
Well, thanks. It's good to be here. Thanks, you guys, for having me.
Yeah.
I'm really excited because we've been asking for people to provide their feedback. And there's a lot of people who watch our program who are probably going to be eligible for Medicare, maybe have Medicare, or, in the future. Clearly, it's
a hot topic.
It's a hot topic because it can be very, very complex. So I guess to begin with, first of all, tell me about your background, because you are originally you're an RN, right? So you come from the clinical world.
Yeah. Before I took this job, I was an RN for over 35 years.
No way.
I hate to even say it out loud.
Wow. So you were
Traveling nurse, did all kinds of things all over the country. Yeah, it was fun. And then I got into Medicare.
And that was even
With Health
more
New
fun.
England. Yes, very exciting stuff. Very exciting.
So tell me about, I guess the first question is for people, most people hear Medicare, they have a pretty good idea, but what exactly is Medicare to start with?
Oh, Medicare is what the government offers for people that are turning 65 and older. It is a form of healthcare coverage that's out there for them. Has a couple parts, has Part A, Part B. It does not have a Part D, which is prescription drugs. I don't know if we'll get into that, but Medicare is only Part A and Part B. That's all they offer. There's a lot of things out there that people get fooled by quite a bit. Everything else is private insurance. Any prescription drug plan, it's not a government plan. It's not, a federal plan of any kind. And the other healthcare plans, those are all private companies. The only thing that the government offers is the Medicare A and B.
If you are, and actually, I think, Cara, you had this question too, because you were a teacher for a long time. And a lot of teachers have the Blue Cross Blue Shield, or public workers, the city plan. So then what happens then? Do you have to sign up for Medicare, or does everyone have to sign up for it?
Yeah. One of my specialties that I love is we call them people that are aging in when they turn 65. Some of them can't wait to retire. Some of them are planning on working until the day they die. So there's different ways that everybody can approach it. They could stay on their employer plan, or they can just go on Medicare and then maybe get something else. You sign up for your Part A for sure when you turn 65. Normally doesn't cost anything. You earn your way into it, work 40 quarters, get it through your spouse. There's different ways that you can get it, but most people don't pay for your Part A. Your Part A, well, we'll get back to the job thing. And then your Part B, you do pay for. Now, if you're going to continue to work and get what they call credible coverage through your employer, you don't have to get your Part B.
Okay.
Your Part B, you do pay for. Right now, it's $174.70 a month. That's the average for everybody. It is on a sliding scale, so you could pay more. It's like a 2-year look back that they have, and depending on how much you made, that's how much you pay. But for the most part, everybody's paying around $175. This information is all from this year.
Right.
Next year, we don't have next year's information yet. We should hopefully have it within the next couple weeks. But right now for your Part B, for the most part, everybody pays almost around $175 is what I rounded off to. So your Part B, remember your Part A you should get. You just sign up, it gets you into the system, helps you avoid any kind of penalties that you could get down the road. But your Part B, you can start and stop as many times as you need to. So say you're a school teacher and your school district doesn't offer any kind of insurance coverage once you turn 65 and say you're getting off your plan. You get a Medicare plan, you get your Medicare A and B, then you get another plan. And then your best friend in California calls and says, oh, that thing we always wanted to do, it's open now. Come join me. We're going to do it. I'll pay you $300,000 a year in free insurance. You can stop your Part B.
Okay.
The difference between A and B. So you've been referring to that. So I think a lot of people probably don't know the difference between those two things.
Yeah. So your Part A, like I said, you earn. Most people don't have to pay for that. I always teach it as a hospital. So it's for inpatient hospital care. So A is for a hospital.
Okay.
So that's all it covers. Your Part A, when you go into the hospital, kicks in right away. If all you have is Medicare, your A and B. There's a certain amount you pay as a copay. Right now, it's $1,632 on day one when you're admitted. And that's supposed to cover you for the next 60 days while you're in there. Sometimes you get hit with these random costs, but for the most part, you're covered for the next 60 days. After that 60 days, then you pay a per day copay, and those costs increase. Your Part B is for everything that's outpatient. Like you go for blood work, you take an ambulance, you go to ER, you go see your specialist. So your Part B is for all of that. Your Part B is the part that you do pay for. Unless you have some kind of financial assistance that's helping you, and you get to avoid that. But most of us pay that $174.70 or whatever it ends up being, depending on the scale that you hit at. And the way it works, you pay your monthly premium that goes to the government at $174.70 a month. No one else sees that. Then you pay your deductible. It's $240. And then the benefit for your Medicare kicks in. So remember, this is no other insurance. It's just your baseline. You have your Medicare A and B. So you pay your $240 deductible once a year. And then the benefit is the government pays 80% and you pay 20% of everything you do. Yeah. Except for, some of the standard things like your like physical, mammograms, things like that.
You go into a lot of different community locations, and I know that wait, what's the game that you
cornhole.
Yeah.
Cornhole.
Yeah, that was fun.
Did you say? Well, I was just playing cornhole this past weekend at my cousin's 50th birthday party. Love it. Yeah, and it's very addictive. But Cara's pretty good at it.
I love cornhole.
Yeah.
I think you
are a solid
I am.
cornhole player.
I should have brought the boards.
Well, I don't know if we have enough room in here to be out in the parking lot. Improvise that, but you brought cornhole all over the county. You're the county cornhole purveyor, organizer.
Yeah, it was fun. Well, the way that happened was I spend a lot of time in the community. I go to the senior centers, I talk to the Shine counselors, elder services, and the time that I spend with them, a lot of times, I'll say, well, is there anything that you need? Anything we can do for you? anytime I can spend some of Health New England's money in the community, I try and do that with permission.
Right.
Um,
Everybody together.
yeah.
They loved it.
So when I went around, they were all like, well, what's everybody else doing? Is there anything we're not doing that they're doing? And all over the Berkshires. And then, I don't know, cornhole just came to mind. I'm like, no one's playing cornhole. And anyone can play cornhole.
Exactly.
You're like, enough of this pickleball stuff. We got to get cornhole to the A list.
Well, both I think is healthy. So
wait a minute. That's right. You're a pickleball player now.
I play a little bit.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
For the challenge, you guys.
The penalty if you don't sign up for Medicare, but then you decide you want it later.
Yeah, they have all kinds of penalties that they don't tell you about ahead of time, which is really nice. That's another reason it's nice that Health New England lets me be out there in the community too. Yeah, there's penalties if you don't get your A right, when you're supposed to, when you turn 65. If you wait a year, every year that goes by is a bigger penalty. It's like 10% every year.
No.
If you don't get your B, there's penalties. If you don't get your Part D, the government wants you to have your Part D. Now, D is prescription drugs. I always say D is drugs.
Yeah.
Easier to remember usually. And if you don't get, doesn't matter if you're on any medications, if you don't get a prescription drug plan when you go on Medicare and turn 65, and then later on you need to get on one, there's a penalty that you pay also. And these penalties aren't one-time penalties. They are every month, like forever.
Jeez.
For the rest of your life.
Oh my God.
To know. I mean,
so let's do a hypothetical then.
Okay.
You turn, I believe it happens when you turn 65. So once your birthday hits 65, and then
do you get something in the mail, or you just have to know to do that?
You have to know to do it.
Man. Okay. So, all right. So first of all, you turn 65, you got to know, you got to do something. So the government isn't just going to be like, oh, Bob Smith, happy birthday. And you're signed up. Lucky
there are certain circumstances where your Part A will start automatically. But for the most part, you got to know. And you got to sign up. I mean, you don't pay anything for it, so you might as well sign up for it. I get calls all the time of people, that will say, well, I'm going to keep working. Do I even need to sign up for my Part A? I'm like, yeah, just sign up for your Part A. And then we look into what their plans are and see if it's better for them to keep their employer plan or if it's better to get on another plan from another company like Health New England.
Okay. So in that hypothetical, now, if someone then comes and like 3 or 4 years later, they say, I want Medicare coverage, then that's when they pay their penalty. Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not being penalized. It's not like they're being sent a bill or something in the mail saying, oh, you are penalized and now you have to pay. It's only when you go and sign up for it later, then they're like, oh,
right. Right. If you never through your whole lifetime signed up for A or B or a drug program, you wouldn't get a penalty.
Right.
But the thing is, I get people all the time, like that prescription drug plan part. People, they weren't on any medications and they're like, and then they come to me 5 years later, have some kind of cardiac issue and have to go on meds. They're really expensive. They're like, oh, Lee, I need to get on a drug program. What should I do? And then I have to give them the news that they didn't have any for 5 years. And the government is going to penalize them for every single month they didn't have it up until that point.
And you said 10%?
No, that's your Part A.
Okay.
Wow. It's kind of a more complicated formula for your Part B. It's 1% of the national average for all prescription drug plans. And right now, I think that's around $36. So it's really 36 cents for every month you don't have it. But over 5 years, that comes to just about $20. So if you buy a plan with Health New England and say it's a $0 plan, the government lets us know that it's not zero. It's going to be $20 forever.
So when you're at the senior centers, I mean, what kind of questions are you getting from them? Is it, because I would think that a lot of those individuals are probably already into it. Are they seeking maybe a better way to do it? Is there better options out there?
Yeah, well, there were more options this year than there's going to be next year. There's actually other companies leaving Western Mass. Health New England is here to stay, just for the record. And we love our community. We are a nonprofit, but the questions that I'm getting are usually, my insurance is going way up. What can you tell me? What do you guys have to offer? Do I have to pay this? Do I have to pay that? Why did I get this bill for this? Do I need something more than Medicare? Why would I need something more than Medicare? I mean, it's really unending. It all does depend on the place that they are. Like if they're just retiring, and they're at the senior centers, or if they've been seniors for quite a while, they're seasoned, but they were in different types of plans. When I first started this job over 12 years ago, med sup plans were really more mainstream. And the evolution into Medicare Advantage plans has been really big.
When is open enrollment?
Open enrollment is every single year from October 15th
So it's coming up.
December 7th. It is.
Wow. Okay.
It's the time when everybody gets to see how much they're loved. Every commercial, every podcast, every radio station, every piece of mail, emails, all are telling you how much they care about you.
Yeah.
And the reason they're doing that is because this is when you can change anything that you're in. If you're in a supplement plan, if you only have Medicare, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you can change all of that. You can change the company that you're with, whatever you want to do.
So every year you can completely turn it all over and flip it on its head and do something different. So some people may be thinking, all right, well, if it's Medicare and that comes from the government, what does Health New England do? So that's what you're, supplemental. So I'm sure there are some viewers who may not understand that whole concept. So what does Health New England do in this whole aspect?
For Medicare recipients, we offer two different plans. There's really three routes you can go when you decide to retire. You can just go with your Medicare. I really only have maybe 2 or 3 people a year that I find that do that. You can go with a Medicare Advantage plan. Those are really mainstream, what almost everyone is doing. I would say like 98%. And then there are Medicare supplement plans that you can get. Medicare supplement plans, 3-card system. Use your Medicare first, then you use your Medicare supplement plan from whatever company you got it from, like Health New England. And then you have to get a separate prescription drug plan too. All right, so it's a 3-card system. With Medicare Advantage plan, that's the one, they're less expensive. They include your Part D, the prescription drugs. You get co-pays. They're a lot less expensive, if I didn't say that already. And they have extra added benefits that you can get too. Med sups, they don't really have a lot of extra added benefits. The way I teach people about Medicare supplement plans is they're so heavily regulated, they're all the same. Doesn't matter, just look at the price and look at the service and then pick a company. Luckily, I know which one has the best service. But with Medicare Advantage plans, they're very different. And they can offer different added benefits that you don't get with Medicare or with Medicare supplement plans, like dental, hearing, eye care, over-the-counter benefits, fitness money for your fitness. So you get all kinds of added things. And one of our plans this year is a $0 plan. So you don't pay anything for it. And they're the ones that most people choose, the Medicare Advantage plans. And they're more used to them now because they're so similar to your employer plan. So they're kind of used to those. But we offer, med sup plans. We offer Medicare Advantage plans. We don't have separate standalone prescription drug plans to go with the supplement plans, but we do have the supplement plans.
So there you go. I've learned so much.
Yeah, it's great information.
And Health New England, nonprofit, good company to work for.
Yeah, great. Great company. I got recruited by the manager, who's still my manager, Sarah. And I can't even believe it's over 12 years later.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. And I can't remember when the first time I met you, Lee, but it maybe it was just about then,
probably.
And just so people know, in healthcare, and Cara has been attending these every first Wednesday. The elder, I don't know, they call it the Elder Care Network. And our friends at Home Instead do that, and they host it, and it goes all around the county at different locations. And I think, it was through that. But that group has been around for a long, long time, and it really is a great group. So if you're ever interested in, especially if you're in senior care, but healthcare in general, that group meets every Wednesday morning, every first Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. And it really is a great tradition. And Donna Smith is tremendous, and they've done some great work. But that's where I made my connection with Lee all those years ago, and have learned so much, and so many others as well. So highly recommended. Highly recommended.
Yeah, the network of people that attend that meeting and their passion for the community is just amazing. Love it there.
It is. And you presented to that group last month. Great presentation for sure.
A lot of people that call me and say, Lee, I'm turning 65. I'm going to keep working. I'm so lucky. I'm going to stay on my employer plan. Once we talk, a lot of times they end up finding out they can save hundreds, like even $500-$600 a month by switching over. And they had no idea.
Yeah.
And their copays are less than what they're paying now. So, it's really good to educate yourself, find out what's going on. I will, of course, do anything I can to help you at any time. I give out my direct number all the time.
Go ahead and give it out. What is your number?
413-233-3341.
And we'll put that out there. But I have a question here.
That's not really my number.
So if and like you said, so if I work past age 65, do I need to pick up Part B? Will I be penalized if I have my employer group plan? That's a
great question. Yep. No. As long as it's considered credible insurance coverage, you do not have to pick up your Part B. The way you determine if it's credible is if you get that letter for your tax filings at the end of the year, you always get something that says, oh, it was credible coverage all this year from my employer. If you have that, then you're good. You're not going to get any penalty. Now, if by chance your employer sends you something and says, oh, all of a sudden it's not considered credible, they have to notify you. That's when you're going to have to do something within 60 days or you will get a penalty. Give me a call then.
Yeah. Well, probably good to call you anytime, if you have any questions.
It is good to call me anytime.
You're the resource. And I look at that and the one thing, when you look at the macro, and I'm not going to ask you to sort of comment on why this is the case, but the fact that there are fewer providers in the Berkshires. I mean, it could be a testament to, well, maybe the Berkshires is small and some of these companies decided, well, it's just not enough of a population to do business here, or maybe we're just not as good as the ones that are staying, but the fact of the matter is, there are fewer providers of this now than there were last year. So that tells you something. And at the end of the day, customer service is one of those things. But then, there's other market forces as well. But at the end of the day, Health New England has been here for many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like for years to come.
For sure. For sure. A little backstory to sort of explain how well we really are doing. It has been in the news, so it's known, and I might as well get it out there now so it's not misconstrued when it comes out. But Point32 is a company that's actually in the process of buying Health New England. They own Tufts and Harvard Pilgrim also. Now, they wanted to come into Western Mass. Too difficult. Health New England was so established. They researched. They decided that they wanted us. They want to know how we do it, what we do, and that's why they're going to purchase us instead of coming into the area and trying to push us out.
Right.
Now, when that happens, the reason I'm kind of telling you this is twofold. It'll be good for Health New England members. So don't let the media dramatize it or make you get worried, because they're a really big, strong company. And I think our members will be better for it when it happens. So don't worry about that when it becomes more mainstream. It may still take a couple more years with all the government regulations that are sort of, in the way right now. But yeah, they want to join. They're a nonprofit like Health New England is. And we're kind of aligned with the same values. So it'll be a good thing. So no one worry when that happens. But yeah, Health New England is here to stay. And that's one of the things that's going to happen to make sure that we do too. I have things that I do. I have special meetings that I have for members every year that I do in October. Like today, we had over 35 members get together in Lenox. And we talked about all the changes that were going to happen for next year. So in October, I have those special member meetings at least once a week. Everybody comes in, they find out what the changes are, we talk. It's almost like a reunion every year, so it's really nice. But in between all of those, I have meetings that I do for the community. And those are the ones that I teach all about, those transitioning from your work, what A and B is, how it works, why do I need something else, what are the plans that you have, any other questions that they have. So I'm always out in the field somewhere. And if you can't find me, you forget my number, call the senior center. They'll know my number. They'll know my email. Or you can just call Health New England and say, I want to talk to Lee.
I want to hear more about, honestly, the cornhole. The whole thing, because I think that's awesome what you organized. So
all right.
Yeah.
How did that all happen?
And so once I mentioned it to one of the centers, they're like, what? Cornhole? Yeah, that would be great. And I went to Health New England and I said, well, I found something I think that would be great for the community, all the senior centers. We could get them involved. You know, it doesn't matter if I had people in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I had blind people play.
Yeah, that's the beauty of
with
it.
walkers. So really anyone can play. We didn't do regulation. We shortened it a bit, just so everyone
So for you cornhole
participate.
purists out there, wouldn't be too pleased with that, but that's okay.
Right. But we made it good for everyone. And Health New England said, yeah, let's do it. They had boards made up. Every center, I went around to like 8 different centers. Every center that we had the tournament in, I left a set there so they could continue to play. And they are playing. Some of them even had corn dog tournaments after that.
Corn dog tournaments?
Yes, all corn themed.
Fun.
A corn.
And we wore our corn gear, like our cornhole shirts.
And there were trophies.
And hats. Oh yeah, I made up trophies. I had cream of the crop little gold trophy that I glued to a can of corn, and everyone loved that. I was surprised how people weren't competitive until they saw that,
right?
And then forget about it. Everybody wanted the trophy.
Yeah,
but it was so much fun. We had food. Not at snacks, but we had food, and drinks. It was so popular. People loved it. So more than I could have expected. And then all the centers now want to do inter-center competitions.
Oh my.
So
this sounds like
very exciting.
Sounds like a shindig.
Yeah, very social, fun. It was really nice. And that's what Health New England lets us do. They want us out in the community. They want us to know, our population personally. And that's the difference, really, with Health New England.
Because it is such a very personal thing, and it's hard for a lot of people. I mean, and so when you have a situation where you're so approachable and it's easy to access the information, that makes a huge difference for people, because it can be frightening. It's intimidating, so.
Well, it is. I think the idea of generally someone calling up or the government, right? Like when people are at Medicare, well, who's Medicare? Like, what is this? It's like this faceless, nameless, crazy thing. I have to pick up the phone and call somebody. I have to go online and put something in, and then that can be very intimidating. So to have a human being who's actually there helping you through things, and then also doing fun things in the community, like that's the way to go. That's for sure.
Yeah,
the way to go.
It's a big difference between talking to someone who just wants to sell you something and someone who wants to help you. And Health New England's definitely about helping you make the right decisions for you. My phone number, again, 413-233-3341. My email is rjaggi@hne.com, or you can just call Health New England. And that number is 413-787-0010. Or you can go online, healthnewengland.org/Medicare. On that website, you can find everything. You can look at all the plans. You can look up your medications. You can see, if your providers are in network. anything
Great.
you need.
So Lee, it is wonderful to see you as
It's great.
always.
So good
It's
to see
been
you.
great and answered some of our questions.
Mhm.
Again, just to be clear, we're not very close to Medicare.
We have some time.
We have
but-
a long time.
Yeah,
But-
those middle schoolers will be hitting Medicare anytime now.
but certainly, you know, for the long range, there's a lot of questions that people do have, especially when they have, you know, post-retirement health insurance and what does that mean for Medicare, et cetera, et cetera. So all that was super helpful to us and certainly to our audience. And so this will be posted and people can continue to watch this video. So we thank everyone for their questions. And Lee, thanks, man.
Thanks for
really
having me.
appreciate
It
you
was
coming
great.
on. So let me play this. I'm going to get the
Still
sound
waiting for
going.
that.
So everyone have a great night and
Have a good night.
check out the commercial here. Okay.
At Health New England, your health is our priority. We're the plan that knows you and is by your side in the moments that matter. That's why, when it's time to choose a Medicare plan, our Medicare experts are right here to help you. When you have a question, you can talk with local people and get trusted advice. Our Medicare plans start at a $0 monthly premium and include the benefits and extras you want. Plus, we give you access to the providers you know and trust in Western Mass. Health New England, where you matter.